So at first I couldn't find any worthy gaming stories, and to say that this is a worthy story of talking about probably wouldn't be very accurate, but I thought it was amusing enough to at least mention. So apparently there is a Super Smash Bros. Tournament called Tipped Off in Georgia, but in order to fund this tournament this year, the organizer actually had to sell his house to be able to pay for it. Some people would call this dedication. Oh my god, this guy is so dedicated to the tournament. I would just call it stupidity. I'm sorry to say, but selling your house to fund a video game tournament is pathetic. It would be one thing if this person would get a return on their investment, so maybe one day they can buy a better house. That is not the case, because this tournament has been running for 12 years and actually had to skip 2016 because he couldn't afford to fund 2016. But he decided, you know what, I got to do 2017 for whatever reason, and in order to do such, I have to sell my house. I'm going to sell my house to pay for a video game tournament. So obviously, if this tournament was financially successful, he wouldn't have to sell his fucking house to pay for the tournament, especially since it's been going on for 12 years. You think if it was financially successful, that it's something that he could make money on, he would have made the money by now after 12 fucking years, but no. He's just doing it because he likes the tournament. I'm sorry, but I don't care how much you like it. Selling your house for a fucking video game tournament, and he had to move back in with his grandmother. That's just completely pathetic. Thank God he wasn't a father, because if he was a father, that would make the story even more awful, because then he would definitely have failed as a father. Say, sorry kids, but we're going to have to move out because I decided I'm going to waste all my money on a video game tournament. And apparently he didn't plan on selling his house initially to fund the tournament, but the attendance was so low that he either had to cancel the tournament or sell his house and keep the tournament going. So he decided, I'm going to sell my house and keep the tournament going. And I don't mean to kick a dog while it's down, but that's honestly one of the most pathetic things I have ever read about, at least when it comes to gaming, in a very long time. It's one of the most pathetic things I've ever read. I'm sorry, but it's true. You do not make dumb financial decisions like that. Then maybe you wouldn't be a grown-ass man having to come to grandma. I would have loved to see Granny's reaction when she found out that her grandson was selling his house to pay for a video game tournament. She had to have been very disappointed with him. I can imagine. And if you think I'm just being mean and that there's no truth to what I'm saying, that he's just fucking dumb, let me read you a quote that he said about this situation. I don't run tournaments with the goal of making money in mind. The goal is just to not lose money. And again, it's not like this guy is doing something incredibly admirable that you cannot call him out for being a dumbass. It's not like he's doing something charitable, helping out homeless dogs or homeless children or whatever, or starving children in fucking Nigeria. No, this is all for a fucking video game tournament. And don't get me wrong, I'm not celebrating, I'm not happy that a man lost their house and had to move in with their grandmother. That's obviously a very awful thing to happen. But sometimes you cannot feel sympathy for people who just did it to themselves. You really can't. And I'm sorry to say, but this person doesn't really deserve any sympathy. It's all self-inflicted here.